greatest hypnotist in the world.
You will learn the power of hypnosis.
And seemed to have an agenda that expanded beyond the Warrum itself into something larger and darker.
Your sons will marry their daughters. Your daughters will marry their sons. You will create legacies.
Huh? Huh?
Those juicy steaks, that finer scotch, those smoother cigars.
He refused to speak to us, but it's clear that he has a big role to play in whatever the Warrum's real agenda is.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Welcome to the test.
Okay, but I got way off track because this guy literally said that your sons will marry your daughters. And we just moved away from that. This man said that your sons will marry your daughters.
Now is decision time. You are getting in the cage to fight a professional fighter who is trained to hurt you. Anyone who is fighting, please stand up. Anyone who is not fighting, you can stay seated, and we will begin the other program.
Just like that, a third of the room decides to get beaten up for Andrew Tate.
What happens to the people who said no?
They're doing something slightly different, describing the reasons they didn't do it, how that affects their life as a whole, whether they're gonna make any changes in the future to be more ready for opportunities. That's where honor comes from, right? From victory.
One of the men who said no agrees to speak to us as long as we hide his face.
They have to stare at the wall in shame.
Why did you say no?
You paid $5,000 to stare at a wall.
I have been in the ring before, but just sparring. But I was like fought professionals and Russians.
They're not even wearing gloves. They don't even have gloves on. They're not on any sort of proper setup. They're just on a fucking wood stage.
They guys are serious. I was just too scared. Then afterwards, I felt bad about myself. And I was angry at myself. Because I came here to be tested.
Andrew Tate has obviously said a lot of kind of controversial things online.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
A lot of things are very controversial, but I think the bottom of his message is a very, very positive one. Because if I'm not tough on myself, nobody else will be. Nobody really cares about me if I don't care about me, right? That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
People who decided this morning and people who decided at a later date here, please.
We have a chaperone following us. We've been told that we're not allowed to talk to anyone. What about in passing, asking people like, what single question?
Let me run this by Tate before we film. No other comment.
Okay, all right. Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Our chaperone vets who we speak to and tries to heavily control our questions.
What do you do?
Show that you're not some sort of right-wing extremist for this.
Why did you join the Warrum?
I don't want to be fucking stagnant. I need to grow. It's just a fundamental shift in my mindset. What I think could be bad is always good. Before the war room, I used to think, why is this happening to me? Now, what is this trying to like teach me?
About Andrew Tate specifically and the things he says online, the things that get him negative publicity. Yeah. What do you think about those things?
I think he's speaking the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interviewing under the chaperone's supervision is proving restrictive.
Yeah?
No alpha craziness. He's an animal, this one.
Just fucking interfering with the interview on camera.
So we can't speak to anyone?
Okay.
Who is this mysterious chaperone anyway?
Hey, man.
Matt, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, man.
I was wondering if we could have a little chat.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah?
good. Suits me, man. Brought over from Dubai.
Like most Warrum leaders, he has a sports car.
Do you want to do the interview in here?
Yeah, I don't see why not, man.
And like most people with a sports car, he's keen to show it off.
So, what do they call you?
In these circles, sartorial or the sartorial shooter. I'm one of the guys who manages
Dude, that's not a name.
organizational risk and security for the war room. So anyone with any criminal activity, maybe they are showing signs of being racist or sexist or any of these sorts of things, they're out straight away. We will not tolerate that.
And so how do you reconcile
I don't believe that for 1 second.
that with some of the things that Andrew, for example, says online?
Any claims of misogyny or the fact that he's, spreading hateful words, that's not the reality of who he is, and that's not what the war room stands for, and that's not what he stands for. There are many clips of him out there saying, I'm not a misogynist, I provide for my women, I would stand up for my women in a violent situation.
What do
That doesn't make you not a misogynist. Not even a little bit.
you think his detractors would say about, for example, what you just said, the phrase, my women? Do you think that they would consider that to be misogynist?
The phrase "my woman" for me ties into the very traditional values that we have.
Andrew's well known for
Traditional values of misogyny. To be clear, those traditional values of misogyny.
talking a lot about his multiple girlfriends. How does that tie into this idea of a traditional relationship?
Men at certain levels can provide for multiple women. And even we can go back 100 years ago, kings, wealthy men, they would support multiple families. How is that a bad thing? It's only very recently that men and women have been competing pretty much in masculine realms, in work and career. Not that long ago.
Equating working to being a masculine trait, a masculine realm, is doing a lot to undercut your argument that your organization is not founded on misogyny. Just saying.
And indeed, in many cultures around the world, women still have the traditional gender norms. And we believe in the war room, that's what leads to happiness.
Rather than a career or...
Happiness for who?
Or like you have, your own agency in the world to pursue your own goals.
The women who I know who are most fulfilled in life are not trying to do the things that traditionally men used to do.
What about a situation where...
Yeah, women fought for centuries for the same rights as men because they were so fulfilled in their domesticity. They fought to have the right to control their own bodies and to work and to vote. They fought tooth and nail for that and put their lives on the line for that because they were satisfied with being homemakers and not having the ability to own property.
This has just popped into my head, where I want my girlfriend, who I love, to be a kept woman, but she doesn't. She wants to pursue a career or something like that.
Then find a different woman. Very simple.
The core belief driving the war room and what men here are seeking is a misogynist fantasy of a time when they were kings and women were subjugated. It's at the heart of what Andrew Tate is selling. Just look at the tweets of Iggy Semmelweis, his second in command. My webcam girl is home 100% of the time, has no time nor interest in going out. She sleeps, cooks, cleans, does her shows, gives me all the money, gets railed by me and our girlfriends, then smiles, thanks me, and goes and does it again tomorrow. Welcome to the war room.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Now, it's quite possible this next story has passed some of you by, but you would be in a minority.
As the war room members and I are bussed to the fight location, the world begins to talk about Andrew Tate with a new intensity.
He is a 35-year-old influencer who's been accused of spreading rape
openly
culture.
condones and celebrates violence against women.
Hitting women. Kids are acting like the things that he's saying is like revolutionary.
11-year-old boys, they love
Please stop looking up to Andrew Tate. He is a bad guy.
With the PR crisis going on, Andrew's team are eager for some good press, so they send an extra-friendly chaperone to sell me on the benefits of the war room experience.
I'm Alpha Wolf.
Okay.
If someone introduces themselves to me as Alpha Wolf, I'm sorry. I'm not pretending that's not fucking hysterical. I'm laughing in your face. I'm Alpha Wolf. No, you're not. No, you're not. Your name is John. You're not fucking Alpha Wolf.
My role is to be Alpha Wolf.
Okay, fair enough.
Life is all about how you deal with the pain and how you move forward. You're going to learn a lot about yourself as a man, so take it, make the best out of it, and grow as a man and be tough.
All of the men in this room seem to be taking this incredibly seriously.
That's so embarrassing. I mean, you should take it incredibly seriously if you spent $5,000 to be there.
Like, go for the fight. Of course I'm going to try to win.
I see a lot of contenders right there who had the guts to come right here in the cage. If any one of them win one fight, is gonna win all their money, all their girls.
This is the culmination of Andrew Tate's pressure cooker of male insecurity.
You're a fucking broke. You are poor. I'm the only guy on this fucking platform flying around in private jets with 27 cars living this lifestyle. Most of you are not too stupid to become rich.
You have 0 cars now because they were, first of all, he never had 27 cars, but he has 0 cars now because they were seized by the Romanian government.
Are you ready?
Andrew Tate and I actually now have the same amount of cars. What color is your Bugatti, Mr. Tate? Invisible?
Round 1.
But while they come forward to gratefully take
Motherfuckers can be squatting in prison pretending he's driving the invisible Bowmobile.
The beatings they've paid thousands of dollars for.
You're here to lose a little bit of blood.
Andrew Tate's future on social media is hanging in the balance.
Hey, I love this account.
and the public backlash is spreading. I'm desperate to ask him about all of this, but first I have to get through this ridiculous situation that I've found myself in.
All right, let's go.
Give it up for Matt. Did I say it right?
I would not. I'm sorry. Like, absolutely the fuck not. I'm not letting someone punch me in the head for a story. I'm not letting anyone punch me in the head at all. The whole idea that the most masculine thing you can do is fight other people who also do not know how to fight with no, again, they received no training on how to fight. They're just throwing them in the ring. This wizard guy claims in his Twitter handle to be master of Wudon. Wudon is specifically a female martial arts role in Chinese opera. He has emasculated himself with a lack of knowledge of Chinese opera roles. Good. I'm glad. It is just Fight Club. Yeah. Bro, you missed the beginning when he said he was gonna cut the virus out of the air with his sword.
I know he's gonna lose, but wow, he's actually in there. Let's go, buddy! Come on, man!
Whatever's going on behind the scenes, watching me get chased around puts a smile on Andrew's face.
I said it before, but let me reiterate. Any room that Andrew Tate is in instantly becomes an escape room. What is this? This man is just beyond ugly. Like, there's no angle of him that looks good. There's nothing he can do to change. Like, he is fundamentally ugly.
Texas gets stripped to the ground, and there's gonna be a brown.
They're just letting him fucking smash this guy's head in. You didn't train him how to defend. He's unable to defend himself. You gave him no boxing experience. You didn't even teach him how to throw a punch.
I almost punched him out myself when he was in my house. You know what? He's officially won me over. I can't believe he actually got in there.
Those who went all in on their fight came out badly. One man was knocked out and taken away on a stretcher.
See, and I know I'm terminally lawyer brain, but this was my first thought. You're gonna get your ass sued, all your money, like, because none of this is sanctioned. Yeah, like, no, Andrew Tate is not smart enough to have anyone sign a waiver before he just throws them in the ring. His fucking bottom bitch guy was even stressing not to let this happen.
The inner circle had put these men through collective hardship and recreated them in Andrew Tate's image. Fighters.
Come here, guys. Come up to the front. He broke his hand on your head.
Recreated them in Andrew Tate's image. CTE.
And you're fine. So you win.
But they had also joined a movement that was widely accused of normalizing sexism and rape culture. While the men who chose to fight are paraded in front of the crowd, Andrew's team shamed those who refused.
The shame you hold on to it. Don't let it go.
So anyone who fought, you can put your hand up, how the experience was, how it's going to change your life, and if you have anything to say to the people who did.
They will have irreparable brain damage for the rest of their lives. That's how their lives have been changed. They have mild concussions, every single one of them. Also, you're going to shame this guy with the knee brace on. Also, the idea that you're coming to a seminar to learn how to be the most masculine version of yourself, the most traditionally masculine version of yourself, and you're walking in there with an outside the pants knee brace on. I'm sorry, it's not, you're not coming out on top.
Fight.
I don't think I have any word of advice for the people that didn't do it except that you should have probably.
Wow. Fucking hell. This dude is like struggling to formulate a single thought. He's having difficulty with word recall.
He went to check on me, and I'm thinking, I want to go train because I feel inadequate, right? So
yep,
that's what I want to do.
You're right still inadequate. You're more inadequate for having paid $5,000. Look at this guy's face. A word of advice for the people who didn't fight. Congratulations on not having brain damage. Rayyvana got hit by a car on New Year's Eve and have that brace, and I'm very masculine for being alive. Well, I'm so sorry you got hit by a car. I'm just saying that, like, it doesn't go with the traditional view of masculinity. Not my view of masculinity.
Now I have new mountains to climb, and I'd love to get back here.
Yeah, the new mountain is fucking brain damage. You do have new mountains to climb. It's learning to cope with brain damage.
Now, and go to the gym of the guy who beat the shit out of me.
Didn't it feel like a movie the last few days? I feel like that's a great metaphor for life. You know, we shouldn't be...
I think this guy had brain damage before, to be fair. Isn't it like a movie? Isn't that a great metaphor for life? What movie? There's so many movies. Is it the Barney Easter movie? Or is it like a Serbian film? I don't know what your life is like. Which movie has this felt like?
Slaves, we shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs. We should actually make our lives into, I guess, a movie.
I want to be known as one of the best fathers in the
This guy looks like Andy No. Andy No post milkshake.
war room. I can't look at my sons and tell them to suck it up, Buttercup.
You can't look at your sons ever again. You paid $5,000 that could have gone to their college funds to go get berated by Andrew Tate. Your sons are gonna look you in your black eye and think you're a bitch.
If I don't say yes to this.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think he was saying his future children, because ain't no way that guy is.
Whether or not they fought, all the men here paid $5,000 to the only real winner in this performance, Andrew Tate.
For the people who want to stay and relax, there's some chicks, don't know where they're from.
Nobody cares about Andrew Tate except for you loony liberals. You guys need to get a life. It seems like you care though, because why would you bother? All right, buddy. You've been given some time to learn to formulate sentences. Did you go to this? Did you get brain damage at the war room meeting? Because if you did, contact Saul Goodman, attorney at law. It's mental illness, love.
Yeah, let's have fun. I hope you all enjoyed it.
We're told not to film the celebrations that conclude the evening.
They're naked. They're naked in there. They're in this hotel room together, naked, and this guy's standing in the corner watching.